Hello students, welcome back. This is class 6 science, chapter number 15, air around us. In this video, lecture number 5, we will be discussing all the topics we have learned so far so that it can help you to have a quick revision of all the topics in one go. Let's start with the first topic, that is air.
The first question that strikes our mind after reading the name of the chapter is, what is air? Air is a mixture of gases, water vapor, and dust particles. It is invisible, tasteless, and has no smell, or we can say it is odorless. Invisible can also be replaced by the term transparent. Now we are familiar with the term air. Let us now check some uses of air. Number 1. It is used by living organisms for respiration. Students, breathing is a part of respiration in which living organisms take in oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. Let's have a look at different organs which an organism uses for respiration. Body surface. Earthworms breathe through their body surface. Skin. Frogs are amphibians. They live on both land and water. On land, they breathe with their lungs. Underwater, they breathe through their moist skin. Gills. Fish, crabs, and most other animals that live underwater breathe air dissolved in water. They breathe with the help of gills, which are full of blood vessels. Fish take in water through their mouths, and this water passes through their gills, where the oxygen dissolved in the water is absorbed and goes into the blood. The gills give out carbon dioxide into the water. Spiracles. Insects take in air through tiny holes in their bodies. These are called spiracles. Number 2. Plants use air, that is carbon dioxide, an important component of air, to prepare their food. From our previous classes, we are already aware that photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make their food with the help of raw materials like water, carbon dioxide, sunlight, and chlorophyll. We can clearly see through this diagram that During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide. Number 3. Air supports burning. We have already performed this experiment while discussing the pre-text activities. Oxygen, an important component of air, supports combustion. In absence of oxygen, the burning candle also stops burning. Number 4. Air helps in the movement of birds, bats, and insects. Number 5. Moving air helps in the dispersal of seeds during the process of pollination. The term pollination is described as the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma, or simply we can say the transfer of pollen grains from male reproductive part of a flower to the female reproductive part of the flowers. Number 6. Air guides the movement of parachutes, aeroplanes, and gliders. Number 7. It also helps in controlling the movement of sailboats. Number 8. Air is used to fill automobiles' tires. Number 9. It is used to run windmills. You all must be aware windmills are erected to harness the wind energy and convert it into electricity. It is a very good example of renewable sources of energy. Number 10. It is used in the process of winnowing. Winnowing is the process by which the mixture having components of different weight can be separated with the help of air or wind. The heavier particle or the component of the mixture falls down at the same place, whereas the lighter particles flew away. Number 11. Wet grains and clothes get dried up in air. Number 12. Air helps in transmission of sound. Sound waves travel through air. You know, if there is vacuum, then we cannot hear each other's voices, as sound waves require a medium. Let's now know some properties of air. Number 1. Air is a mixture. Number 2. Air occupies space. Number 3. Air has mass. Number 4. Air has energy. Number 5. Air exerts pressure. Moving further, let us now try to find the composition of air. The major constituents of air and their percentage is tabulated here. Let's have a quick look at each of them. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide 0.03%. Students, if you look carefully, then nitrogen and oxygen are the major constituents of air, and altogether they both comprises 99% of the total air. This is the composition of air. It allows life to exist on Earth.
Moving further, let's learn about atmosphere. Let's start with knowing what is atmosphere. Air forms a blanket around Earth. This blanket of air around Earth is called atmosphere. Students, you can see sunlight reaches the earth, some energy is reflected back into space, and some is absorbed and re-radiated. Most of the heat is absorbed by greenhouse gases and reflected in all directions, warming the earth. Let us now know more about layers of atmosphere. Earth's atmosphere has a series of layers, each with its own specific traits. Moving upward from ground level, these layers are named. The different layers of atmosphere are arranged in a sequence. From Earth, the nearmost layer is troposphere. Then comes stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and finally exosphere. You know, we live in troposphere. The majority of weather phenomenon on the planet occurs in the troposphere, which is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. The main reason aeroplanes fly in the stratosphere is because this is where the least amount of turbulence is found. Turbulence is an irregular motion of air resulting from different air currents. In addition, because the stratosphere is very dry, there are fewer clouds in this layer, making for a much smoother ride overall. A layer in the Earth's stratosphere at an altitude of about 10 km or 6.2 miles, containing a high concentration of ozone, which absorbs most of the ultraviolet radiations reaching the Earth from the Sun. Students, altitude means height. I have a question in my mind. Why is it more difficult to breathe on high mountains than plains? Or why do mountaineers carry oxygen cylinder with them? Let us go ahead and find it out. We need oxygen to breathe. The air present around us contains oxygen. As we go higher, the air becomes thinner and therefore it contains less air. In other words, we can say the density of air reduces as we go up. When we breathe on mountains, less oxygen reaches our lungs, which is not sufficient to fulfill the body's requirement. Thus, to get more oxygen, our lungs have to make an extra effort, which causes difficulty for us. Carrying oxygen cylinders for mountaineering helps to get required oxygen for body. I come across one more doubt. Let us discuss it as well. Does water and soil also contains air? Or how does oxygen becomes available to animals and plants living in water and soil? Yes, water and soil also contains air. The animals that live in the soil breathe the air and oxygen present in the soil, and the animal and plants living in water get the required oxygen intake by absorbing it from water. Oxygen is present in dissolved form in water. You all must have heard words like breeze, wind, and storm. Let us find what these all terms are. When air blows slowly, it is called breeze. Fast blowing air is called wind, and very fast blowing air is called storm. Wind energy. Yes, I'm interested in knowing what is wind energy. Let's discuss. Wind energy is the most mature and developed renewable energy. It generates electricity through wind by using the kinetic energy produced by the effect of air currents. It is a source of clean and renewable energy which reduces the emission of greenhouse effect gases and preserves the environment. Air pollution is the last topic. Let us now know about air pollution. What is air pollution? When unwanted particles mix with air and it becomes harmful for us to breathe is termed as air pollution. Air pollutants are gases and particles in the atmosphere that harm organisms and affect climate. Some causes of air pollution are: number 1, combustion from industries. Number 2, transportation emission. Number 3, home heating or home cooking. Number 4, tobacco smoke. Number 5, agricultural side effects. Number 6, volcanic eruptions. Number 7, forest fires. Students, these are some of the major causes of air pollution. Let us now discuss some preventive measures. Number 1, avoid burning leaves, trash, and other materials. Number 2, walk, bike, carpool, or use public transportation. Number 3, keep car, vehicles, and other engines properly tuned. Number 4, make sure your gas stove is well ventilated. Number 5, Minimize air freshener for room fresheners use. Number 6. Avoid smoking. And number 7. Save energy and make sure you use energy efficiently, as burning of fossil fuels for energy production releases potent pollutants. That's all for this video. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel.